Łudzinika.
Is going to be paying another visit on this map.
You don't even have to watch for the first 4 or 5 minutes here. You will see that War Prism almost definitely.
He's going to drop by without calling.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just going to be how it is.
Maybe Hurricane mixes it up. Who knows? Either way, let's go into game 2 right now. Game 2 on Olrena, as we mentioned before. Down in the bottom left in the red, the Protoss player winning that last one. It is Hurricane.
And up here in the top left in blue, his opponent down a game in this series. 1 life left in Korean Starcraft. It is ByuN. I mean, think about that. Think about that for a second, Starcraft fans. You're down in this series and you already got knocked out of the GSL and you're on X team, which means you're ineligible to play in Pro League. This is your last life in Korean esports. 1 game left on the line. Pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, as you mentioned, he doesn't have Pro League, so he's not going to have much besides online tournaments for a very long time until the next season. And even then, he's got to qualify for those. So it's a bit of a rough patch here. You saw he was very frustrated, it looked like, tapping on his glasses in between the games. Not happy with that last loss for sure. This time he is going to scout.
Yeah, he's even going to SCV scout, like a super early scout. Is cutting the Reaper out to get a faster reactor, so this is a smart move. This is a build that you can do, or like I guess a corner you can cut on this map in particular because it's 2-player, short rush distance, so you don't need a Reaper to get that info.
Look at this. We're going to have a bit of a rush here from Hurricane. He's making a Zealot, a Stalker, and a Mothership Core. He's trying to push here. He's sending a probe probably for a pylon to overcharge if he can get in position. Ooh, nice micro there on the SCV, going to let him go to the other side here, buy him some more time.
Yeah, that hold position micro is really, really important. Now he's going to target down the probe. Smartest choice, and Hurricane lets it die. That's a huge mistake. That's going to cost him this rush. He's no longer going to be able to commit to it.
That's the moment where Hurricane's like, okay, I guess I'll send another probe, but it's really not going to work. A bunker's already up here. Going to get the Zealot even. Nothing really going right here for Hurricane in this rush.
Now when you lose these units like this, I mean, was he going to siege the bunker with a pylon? That's going to be pretty tough to pull off. This isn't a Nathanius Cyclone rush or anything, so just looking at that Twilight Council finishing up here, I think we're just going to see perhaps a rushed glaive upgrade for an Adept push. No, he's going to go DTs again. And
yeah, and he's got a probe still out on the map. I guess he wants to make a pylon. We have no Robo, so I guess he's going to just try to go for this over here. There's that pylon.
It looks like he's going to go for a greedier, faster third Nexus. And instead of using the DTs as a guaranteed damage, he's just going to use it as a defense in case ByuN moves out to attack him. He'll have that backup of the DTs to force him to scan on the attack, which means his attack's going to be a lot weaker, especially with a build like this, with such a fast natural. Now, ByuN doesn't even have very many units because he went into a second CC that went 1 barracks into factory Widow Mine, so he's just got a 1 reactor barracks. So he doesn't have a ton of units in general. Now, if DTs happen to sneak in, like past his depot wall when he doesn't have scans, this could become a similar situation to last game. But right now, as long as he's got scans available, he should be okay. And he sees the Twilight, but not the Shrine.
Nice placement on that Shrine, for sure. By the way, we do have Widow Mines on the way with the medevac coming out here. So it looks like ByuN's going to go for a drop into the main. The air distance is very, very short on this map. First DT going to be warped in here.
Oh, the gateway's going to speed up the last part of that warp in. And here it comes in. He's going to be able to see it easily here with this wall. Already starts a turret. Does he have a scan? He does. He saves it this time.
Oh, he's not going to get it, though. Kind of a miss scan there. And we do have the Widow Mines coming in here.
No detection yet. No, he's going for a Warp Prism instead of an Observer. He instantly cancels that and switches it up. But he's going to be losing some mining time here at his natural and at his main as well. Let's see if he can actually get that burrowed.
Ooh, a couple more hits. It is going to burrow.
Oh,
nice
and no
target.
Split. Wow. He actually lost his dropship there. If he had saved that, that would have been sick.
Yeah, we do have this other Widow Mine over here. It looks like it got a couple of kills of its own, but will be cleaned up, in fact, after all. Raven on the way as well. ByuN is not messing around this time. Knows that a Dark Shrine is out there, but after all, I feel like ByuN is in a bit of a better place now.
I agree, and Hurricane did not make that third Nexus. He never made it. So he's adding gateways now. He's going to have Blink. He's making another Prism so he could try to do a DT drop with that, but ByuN has a lot more units. And just looking at things, he doesn't have Stim because he just started because he was only using that one reactor in barracks for the longest time. He's getting +1. These Marines are not going to fare well versus Blink Stalkers without any upgrades, but they may be able to help him hold on to a third CC if he wants to make one right now and get ahead in that way. You know, he's up in Harvesters in TVP, so he's got Mules on top of that.
Yeah, ByuN is very ready this time with the Raven. He's got 2 turrets at least that I've seen. So this DT drop shouldn't do much of anything at all. I mean, it's so obvious on this map that you are going to make a War Prism. You're going to make it anyway, but now that the Dark Shrine has been identified that it's out there, should be ready for this harass.
Yeah, well, he's going to drop right next to the turret here, which is not going to do him any favors, and the Raven is out. But here come Marines, and I think he got 1 kill with that. Just 1 SCV. It's something. Better than nothing, and no Nexus still, which is starting to become worrisome because I feel like that was the one way Hurricane ends up being fine here because there's Marines but no Stim, there's no combat shields. He doesn't even have +1 yet, so with a third Nexus, he really just won't die to anything. He's also got DTs on the defense. All he has to do is Sniper Raven. He's going to attack instead, which I think is possibly the only wrong choice considering there's a bunker, 2 siege tanks.
A massive wall. The siege tanks, as you mentioned, now medevacs are going to be coming out in a huge number.
Stim is almost finished as well as +1. He's getting another siege tank. He's at 3 siege tanks now, with the 4th one on the way. The DT drop has to pull ByuN out of position or this will never work. And look, he already sees it.
Yeah, I think Hurricane is saying, okay, I got a little bit too far behind from my early play. Now I kind of just have to go all in here. Doesn't think he can hold a third Nexus on a map with this short of a rush distance. Desperately trying to get out some Immortals as well for the push, but not sure about this. The tanks are not down yet. He's going to blink in. He's going to get 1 medevac with the tank in it.
That could be a huge game turner arounder here, as we do see that 1 tank is now missing here. But look at the Stim and this many Marines. No way he breaks this. Barrier's wasted here, and this army is going to get shut down.
Oh, man, that was getting a little bit exciting, but
that was, I mean, the only way that, like, that was the only worst decision ByuN could also make was to move out there, but even still, he only moved out with a few of his units, and only 1 tank got caught. And when I said earlier, I said that Hurricane's only wrong choices to attack, he didn't really have the information that there were that many siege tanks up there, I suppose, because his observers were getting sniped. He was making mostly prisms. But, I mean, it was not, like, say, incorrect, but it was definitely not ideal. I think a third Nexus would have behooved him here, but I think he's totally dead now. He's got no shot. He's going to stop combat shields.
Yeah, this is something. He's going to try to pull himself back into this game. He's going to get 2 of those add-ons there, a couple of tech labs, and keeps his Immortals and the Warp Prism alive. Looks like he's going to invest in some Disruptors now and just desperately try to defend 3 Nexi.
Yeah. Another Immortal drop here with the Barrier can actually tank quite a bit of damage. Stalker's also doing a little bit of harass. Not much damage done, though. I think it's time for ByuN to clear this gateway and take a third CC. He's making a third CC in his main right now. 1 Viking would go so far here. I feel like some Terrans forget that that's a unit that you can still make, even though it's not a Liberator. It's pretty good at defending these kind of harassments. That's all he needs, literally, and this will never happen again.
Those Immortals are getting ridiculous amounts of damage done at this point.
Oh, and ByuN is right-clicked on these rocks, so not reacting there.
He's having trouble with even the Blink Stalkers. Hurricane does have to be very careful about this attack that's coming across right now. He's making his first Disruptor. If he can get a really nice shot onto this Disruptor, I mean, ByuN's control so far hasn't been the greatest.
His
And
multitasking.
if he can get like a magical hit, there is a chance that he stays in this one.
Sure, his multitasking is really failing him, and we saw him turn 3 tanks around to deal with 2 Immortals. The Immortals would be very happy with that situation. PDD coming down here is going to help out a lot, and it looks like Hurricane may have overcommitted to this engage. He's going to lose a lot of his units. Good barrier here again on the Immortal, but now he's in good position to deny the reinforcements and kill probes.
Yeah, all these probes are pretty left alone over here, trying to use that overcharge, and even a Time Warp trying to come down here, but not really a lot of units left over for Hurricane. GG.
Yep, GG indeed. If he had the Disruptor there with that Time Warp, that would have been pretty cool, but he just did not. And ByuN shut that harass down. And the follow-up, I really thought we were going to see Hurricane go 3 next side, just like in the previous set, in order to get ahead in economy, but instead he just literally attacked into 4 siege tanks. ByuN hiding there in the back. Love from Norway. Yeah. Anybody, you mentioned this earlier, but I know we had a lot of audio problems on the Dinket stream. It should be back and fixed now. Come down to the studio. It is free. Google Pro League Studio, Google Nexon Arena. If you don't know how to get there, don't tweet at me because I can't answer 12 of those a day. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I can't answer all of those, you know. So just one day someone is going to make a thread on TL or Reddit or something about how to find that, and everyone's going to use that. Hurricane is not happy with that loss, but I think taking the 3rd base was the way. I keep harping on this, but ByuN couldn't pressure without combat shields or stim or +1, a bunch of naked reams. He has blink, he has DTs, 3rd base is free.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't realize how far behind the infantry tech was for ByuN, and was playing a bit scared after the failed DT. Was just saying, okay, I got to follow this up with some kind of timing. Hopefully he's getting greedy, getting a 3rd CC, but he wasn't doing any of those. He was very prepared. And then even in that last fight, Hurricane almost like he fought away from any pylons. He had no pylons at the 3rd base. He could have overcharged a bunch, you know, waited, delayed for the Disruptor to get out and try to go for that hit, but it almost seemed like he had given up at that point.
Yeah.
From there, I mean, he lost the game.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's everything you just explained is why he did what he did, but ByuN holds, and now we're going to a 3rd game on Dusk Towers. This is it, and as I mentioned before, ByuN's tournament life in Korea, his pro gamer life